Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 68 of our Your Next Level Mastermind. And our topic for this week is called, how do you balance life and business? Or do you balance life and business? Whichever way you want to answer that, right? And we've got some very talented people who are going to share their thoughts on that as far as they're concerned, okay? And they are all experienced entrepreneurs, and they are here to share with you their thoughts, their ideas, their concepts, their tips for you to become a far better business person in any way possible. And at the same time, they'll have links here that I want you to reach out to them on. And as you can see on the screen, they're going to give you their name and where they're located. They're going to give you maybe one or two or a maximum of three of the biggest problems they can solve for people. So you can think, wow, I need to talk to that person, right? Then they'll tell you who the people they serve are, and this week who they're looking for. So I strongly, strongly encourage you all who are watching this replay to reach out to these links and connect with these wonderful people. They are here to serve and support you, okay? So please take the opportunity of doing that. Alrighty, so let's get started with introducing each one of them for about a minute, okay? And I've got a clock up there and I'm hoping I can make it work. So we'll start with Pat Dreyer, followed by John Allen.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Dreyer, and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, in the United States of America. I help people who need to make extra money, like right now. And in today's environment, there's a lot of people out there that are just stuck and uncertain about the future. And with the global economy and inflation like we've got it, we all have at least one thing in common here. We have less and everything costs more, right? So when I find people who want to make money, I show them how to make money. Now, it's something that anybody can do just by following a proven documented system. And it's so simple that I can actually draw it out on a napkin for you. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who won't even participate in their own rescue, and they let their ego get in the way. But if you're willing to unlearn what you know about making money and learn a new way, this is the best opportunity out there. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Pat. Before we go any further, let's stop this clock. You mentioned ego. Can you share a little bit more what you mean by that? Ego getting in the way of people?
Oh, well, people think that they know better than anybody, and their ego gets in the way. Everything between their ears gets in the way from them, and it stops them from being a successful person. They think that what people say about them is important. They always think that they know a better way. They refuse to follow it. And so it's kind of like their ego. It's the old, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And that's what keeps a lot of people stuck where they're at.
So if people reached out to you, you'd be happy to have a conversation like this with them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting. It was when I learned about this company, or not really this company, this type of company and personal development that things really changed for me. But you have to be ready for it. So it's people have to be in the right place at the right time. And if they're not, you just wish them the best and love on them until they come around, you know?
Yeah. Thank you, Pat. And I also know you're a big Bob Proctor person. So for people watching this, Pat Dreyer is a very good man to talk to. Okay, so is Pat Kern, by the way. We'll come back to you in a minute. John Allen, followed by Joy Healy. Over to you, John.
Hi, everyone. I'm John Allen from southwestern Ontario, close to the other London, the one without the big bridge and the clock. And the three biggest problems that I help people with, I help struggling small business owners, entrepreneurs solve these three problems. One, a lot of them don't know how to generate their ideal prospects. Two, they don't know how to convert those prospects into paying customers or clients. And three, helps with their cash flow so they can build the business of their dreams. What I'm looking for this week is struggling business owners or entrepreneurs who need help with those three problems. Again, it's generating leads, converting those leads into paying customers or clients, and building your cash flow. Remember, folks, cash is king. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, John. And just on that point, should these people be in business now, or can they be thinking about starting a business? Which ones do you prefer as a client?
I prefer people that have been in business a minimum of 1 to 3 years. And the reason for it is they got over the honeymoon of, I hung up my sign and they will come. They realize they need help and they're willing to pay for it and, at least experiment and look into what it could take.
Okay. Thanks, John, very much. All right. Joy Healy, followed by Ashvin.
Hello, I'm Joy Healy and I'm from Norwich in the UK. I help people 55 and over who didn't plan for a good pension income and who are interested in making an income online full-time or part-time. I can show them how to solve the problems of earning online when they have low technical skills and maybe short of time because they're still working. The other problem that I can solve is that I can warn them about the dirty tricks that some players make, that some marketers play, and the hype they need to avoid. So this week, I'm looking for people who struggle with the technical side of building a full-time or part-time online business and would be interested in a system where 95% of the hard work is done for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Just one thing, can you give me one dirty trick that people can be exposed to?
Well, a lot of the big marketers, they put forward a tempting offer and somebody will buy into it for about $9.95. But what they don't realize is that what we call a buyer lead is going on to that really clever marketer's mailing list, and then their buyer lead will be marketed to within an inch of their life, and the person who made the sale won't actually get the email address of the person they made the sale to.
Okay, point taken. Thank you, Joy. Okay.
Thank you.
Ashvin Nui, followed by Sandy Murray.
Hello, everybody. This is Afshin Nuhi. What I do is I get rid of your worst business fears that keeps you awake at night. So it's not just lead generation or cash flow, but what we focus on creating or targeting your who. If you don't target who you're going after, all your message, all your other information, all your offers is useless. So I help you to target your who and who is your target audience. And I'm located in Richmond Hill, Ontario. And I help small businesses, but right now I'm focusing on chiropractors who are in business 3 to 5 years and making over $450,000. And that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ashvin. One question to you.
Yeah.
When you are helping people to clarify who their ideal potential customer is, okay?
Yeah.
How much support can you give them to go through that process? Because that is so critical.
It is
Some
very
people won't have a
critical.
clue, right?
Yes, some people have no clue. They just take a gun and shoot and see which birds fall down. We can do many different services. We can hold your hand and walk you through it, or we can do it for you. And by the way, we guarantee our results. If you don't make any money, we will not charge you. If what we are offering you does not increase your businesses, we will not charge you. So we can do it done for you system where we do everything for you. We do the research, generating the leads and the offers, the irresistible offers that we're going to design for you, or you can do it yourself and we help you in the background.
Wow, Ashvin, that's a pretty darn good offer. Are you saying that if they don't get the results, they don't pay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Sandy Murray, followed by Jeff Veale.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. My name is Sandy Murray, and I'm located in Richmond Hill as well. In fact, not too far from Afshin. As far as the three big problems that I solve, I like to think of it, it's based on the name of my business, which is training, marketing, and networking. So really the type of thing that I, would focus on is, or help people with, is if they were interested in learning more about marketing, I could help them in that area. Again, if they were interested in networking and growing their list and generating leads, I can help them in that area. But of course, the reason I have the training in there, because I believe it all starts with training. And in essence, I become the teacher, the trainer, or your coach, or however you want to think of that. What am I looking for? Anybody interested in improving their marketing, growing their network, and also wanting to know that they've got somebody that'll stay with them and coach them through the process, because there is a lot to it. That's it.
Sandy, is your coaching done face-to-face? Or online?
My coaching is both offline and online. Most of it right now, well, actually because of COVID, is online. So like I just finished this morning with a gentleman in Afghanistan. And but again, I'm coaching people all over the world. So it's fascinating. It's really enjoyable. I really enjoy it.
So it would be done something like a Zoom platform, right?
What I've been using with the gentleman from Afghan is because he has a phone, is I use Messenger.
Right.
And I use the video chat in Messenger.
Okay.
And because he doesn't have a laptop computer for doing a proper Zoom meeting, makes it very complicated on a phone to do that. I mean, it can be done, but he's not at that level yet.
Okay. Thanks, Sandy.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff Veale, followed by Marcus Newcomb.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Jeff Veale, the business guru from downtown Manila in the Philippines. The three problems I solve a few more than that sometimes, but we have a team of VAs here, guys. So what we do, we help people get their time back by doing like all the mundane tasks for them, their social media, their research, their email marketing, things they need help with, but don't have the time to really thoroughly devote to. So that's where we come in with our VA service. The other thing we offer people, we basically hold your hand. You think about it, if you want to build a house, you've got about 8 or 10 tradesmen. And some of these guys, many guys, when you build a business, you've only got yourself. So we've got a team here to help you so you don't have to do it yourself. We can build a castle together. And the third one, escapes me at the moment, guys. So I'll move on to who we serve. We serve businesses in English-speaking countries all over the world who basically want to learn about marketing and how they grow their business. This week, we're looking for people who are interested in having a lot of automation done on their social media. We've got some wonderful software, and we're giving a 14-day free trial. And this software can pick up between 20 and 50 new prospects for you each and every night while you sleep. You just press a button before you go to sleep, or we'll do it for you. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Jeff. Would you be happy to talk to people? Because for many people, they've got this challenge. Right now, I can't afford a VA, right? But in reality, by having a VA, it can unlock an income potential that they never even thought possible.
Absolutely.
Would you be happy to talk to them about those sort of things, to explain to them what it's all about?
In fact, Peter, we've got an offer this month. I've been a bit sick this week, so we extended the offer by a week. We're doing a free VA service. Normally, we charge $295 to recruit the VA for you, train them for you, and onboard you. Normally $295. We're doing that totally free for anyone that reaches out for a VA before June the 8th.
Okay. But you'd be happy to talk to them, would you?
Absolutely.
Because that's a very common misconception that people have, that they can't afford a VA because they haven't got enough cash flow. But in fact, the VA, if you do it right and work with people who know that they're talking about, like with you, that can unlock a cash flow they never thought possible. That's the point I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. I say this, Peter, they can't afford $20 a day, which is what you can get a VA for. If you can't afford $20 a day, I guess you shouldn't be in business.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Good. Marcus Newcomb, followed by Penny Kennedy.
Hi, I'm Marcus Newcomb. I'm a leadership executive consultant and change agent for ambitious managers and entrepreneurs. I'm in Switzerland, mainly working with clients from the US and Canada. The problem I solve is finding an answer to the question, is this as good as it gets? The goal is to position yourself strategically as a solid leader, become a collaborator who inspires others, and learn how to leverage your resources. Simply this week, I'm looking for managers and entrepreneurs who ask, is this as good as it gets? Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Can I just pick you up on one comment you made there?
Sure, go ahead.
Ambitious entrepreneurs. Would you like to share a little bit about what that means so people can see that sounds like me?
It's really someone who says the status quo isn't enough. I want people who have this yearning for more. I want people who say, my wildest dreams. You see, I don't want to be mediocre. I really want to achieve my potential. So I believe that sums it up.
Good. Makes sense to me. Thank you very much, Marcus. Please make
You're
sure
welcome.
your links
Thank
are
you.
in the chat there
Yes.
so we can have it. And for those
I'll take
watching,
care of it.
please make sure you check all these links out. These people are making themselves available to you. Don't miss the opportunity. Please don't miss the opportunity. Okay, Penny Kennedy, followed by Pat Kern.
Morning, everyone. My name is Penny Kennedy, and I am located in Saskatchewan and Alberta, Canada. So what I do or how I help people with their problems, their biggest problems, is financial and time freedom, as well as health challenges. Help you live a better, healthier lifestyle overall. Who do I serve? I serve you. If you have a challenge, you're who I'm looking for. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Penny. Challenges can be business or personal, is that correct?
Business and personal, you betcha.
Wow, that's a hell of an offer, Penny Kennedy. I mean, what's the best way for people to have that conversation with you? So that could, because it's very private to many people, right? So what's the best way for them to feel comfortable in talking to you about something that's very personal like that?
So generally what we do is we start off on Facebook or Facebook Messenger, and then eventually we get to a Zoom call and we have a chit chat, or we've met in person. That's been a big thing lately. So
Right.
Yeah.
So if there are people living anywhere near you would like to meet you personally, you'd be happy to do that?
Absolutely. I love it. I love meeting new people.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Penny. Okay, Pat Kern.
My name is Patrick Kern. I'm located in Beckenham, Washington. Everybody in life has some type of problems. Most problems for people are starting their own line business. And that's got to do by finance, or they're working an 8 to 9 job. They don't have time. Here I am to serve you, to give you that time back for yourself. And I'm looking for people who want to get out of their dismal, dreaded life and start a new life for themselves and their family. And I am here to help you all the way. And you can do it for free if you like.
You can do it for free, Pat?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
The company I'm affiliated with, you can join for free. Guaranteed. And you make money. You'll make an income by the next week. You just got to bring somebody in.
Wow. Okay. And you will show them how to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Step by step?
Yes, sir. All the way.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Before we talk about the topic, which is how do you balance life and business, I've got some apologies for you. Anthony Pacelli can't be here. I'm not going to give you the reasons why, but if you wanted to, you can ask them. Yvonne Jones, Carol Davies, Sherry Bennett, and Monica Periani. They're all good supporters of us, but they couldn't make it today for a whole variety of reasons. But before we go on to the topic, can I come back to you, Pat? You have a surprise to give to people. Can you share what that's all about? And at the same time, share about what you are planning to do in the very near future.
Sure. I'm packing up my apartment, and I found two of these books. They're by Todd Falcone. If you guys know about Todd Falcone, I've met him about 3 times now. He's a great guy. He lives in Oregon. And the book I'm going to give away is Fearless, the Network Marketers by Todd Falcone. And then I got an extra book. It's The Better Life to a Journal. I'll be giving those 2 books away to a lucky winner. Todd Falcone is the guy's great. I had a lot of good conversation with him at all the conventions I've been to.
Okay. Before we come back to your little journey you're going to take, because I'd love you to share this as well, if you don't mind. But before we do that, we would normally have the spinning wheel, right? But I can't do it today. So instead, Pat Kern, I want you to think of a number in your head between 0 and 100. Don't just keep it to yourself, right? In fact, get on the chat and send me a private message with the number.
Okay.
All right, do that now. And for everyone else, what I'd like you to do is, what number do you think Pat's got in his head, and the closest one can win his prize? That's how I'm going to do it, because I couldn't think of another way to do it. All right. So is that fair?
Yeah.
All righty. Let me get this right. So you agree with it? And Pat, you can decide which one's closest. Save me doing the mathematics, right? Pat Dreyer, number 1. John Allen, 29. Joy, 14. Yogesh, 33. Ashvin, 70. Sandy Murray, 66. Jeff Veale, 77. Marcus, 23. Penny Kennedy, 13. And I don't know what the message is and what the number is in Pat's head, because he hasn't told me. So you pick it, Pat. Who's the closest?
I sent you a private message here, Peter.
Oh, that's on Facebook. I went here on.
Oh, hell.
Doesn't matter. You haven't got to tell me.
My number is 69.
Oh, Pat.
Ashland
Nui is the winner.
Yeah, he's 70.
Okay.
That is so funny, Pat, because in my head I was like, oh, it's Pat Kern. He'll pick 69.
But wait a minute, Sandy Mary is 66. Is it now closer to 59?
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, Pat. One last
thing. That's true. That's true about Sandy Murray. He's what is it?
66.
66.
Yeah, 70. God, I don't know how they would do that on Wheel of Fortune.
Doesn't matter. The prize is going to Ashvin. Congratulations, Ashvin. You and Pat can connect with each other and work out how to do it. One last thing, Pat, because I'd like you to share what you're planning to do before we get to the topic.
Well, starting at hopefully June 20th, I'm packing up my apartment, putting everything in storage. I'm going to sell a few things. I really don't need it. All the good stuff, like family stuff, I give it to my son and my daughter. And what I'm planning on doing on June 20th, I'm going to leave from Beckenham, Washington, headed to Bar Harbor, Maine, on the northern route. So if anybody's in that vicinity, 10 or 20 miles off, I'll come see you. But I don't know if I can get into Canada or not, but I'm going to try. But then from Bar Harbor, Maine, I'm going to Orlando, Florida for a big convention for 3 days. And after that, I will end up in Key West, Florida.
Yep.
Key West, Florida. I'll probably end up in Australia, right across Australia, New Zealand. And I heard Tasmania is really getting to be popping place now.
Yep.
And from there, we'll decide go to the Orient and go visit some people over there. I'll get to you. You'll be my last stop there, Marcus.
And Pat, this is all going to be on your push bike, right?
Yes, on my bicycle. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Everyone watching this, please, if you're not connected with Pat Kern on Facebook for a starter or on LinkedIn, please make sure you do. Pat, could you put both your Facebook and your LinkedIn connections in the chat?
I do Facebook Lives on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, but I want you to put your link in the chat so people watching this who are not connected can connect with you.
Sure, I can do that.
And then they can follow where you're up to. Okay.
All righty.
Thank you, Pat. Drive carefully or ride carefully, my man. Okay. Ride carefully.
I always do. I only got hit by a car once.
Hey, Fred, nice to see you. Nice to see you, my man.
Yeah, sorry, got caught up on a call, so just got a late call and went a lot longer than I expected. So, but good to see you guys.
Good to see you too, my man. All right, we're going to start the topic of the day. The topic is, how do you balance life and business? And what I'd like you to do is to go to the bottom of the page and click the reactions tab and stick your hand up, and I'll take you in the order that your hands are up. Okay, because I really like to hear what you have to say here. People who are watching this, okay, listen carefully what these people are about to share with you. They are experienced in business, but their businesses are many and varied. So what I want you to do is listen carefully what they have shared with you and what they've learned and the mistakes they've made in particular and how they feel that you should have the balance between life and business itself. And let's start with John D. Allen. Over to you, John.
Thanks, Peter. The one thing that I learned is used to be a workaholic, and 12, 14, 16 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week was normal. Then the good Lord, or whoever you want to call him, stepped in and gave me a major brain aneurysm. What that taught me was there's more to life than work. My family was being neglected. And so what that actually taught me was, and A, B, I didn't think the company could get along without me. I was the rising thing, everything around, right, evolved around me. What a big surprise I got when I was gone for 3 months and the company survived and everything worked out great. So the thing that it did teach me was I went back to 8-hour days. For the first while, I didn't know what the heck to do with all this extra time. But the biggest thing I did learn was, and I read a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. And we need to prioritize what we think is important. That was the biggest thing that I learned, that a lot of things that were so important to me, I realized after that they were just little hiccups and they weren't the major deal that you just had to get up with it. You know, the world's gonna fall apart if you don't solve it. So the biggest thing I learned was to take life easy and to enjoy it, because we're only here once. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Thanks, John. And don't sweat the small stuff, right? Well done. Thank you very much for sharing. Marcus Newcomb.
Hi. When I read the question, for me, what it really comes down to is I learned to balance Marcus Newcomb. That's pretty much it. Because when I tried to balance life and work, I screwed up. Like, you know, I'm 50 years old. I had 3 major burnouts in my life. So I'm definitely a living testament that this balancing between work and life does not work for me. So since I learned to really balance myself, and that sounds crazy to you, maybe, I wake up somewhere between 2:45 and 3:30 in the morning. I get up every night, do 30 minutes of meditation, go back to bed, sleep like a baby, and that literally balances me and gives me that balance which is required for work and life, which, let's be honest, we only have a life. So that's it.
Wow. Are you saying that it's 3 o'clock in the morning when you meditate?
It's actually literally, I'm waking up somewhere between 2:45 and 3:30, sometimes 3:45,
right.
But exactly in that level. Since I started meditating for 30 minutes, That's pretty much my waking up.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have no
It's
trouble
like-
going back to sleep.
No, it's like the spirits literally, they take me out of the sleep. I sometimes party with them, few more minutes. And like 5 minutes later, it comes again. Are you up? Are you ready to meditate? I said, okay, I get it. I go. No, and I literally go to bed like 45 minutes later, and I sleep like a baby for another 2 to 3 hours.
Wow. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you very much for
Thank
sharing
you.
that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Sandy Murray.
Trying to click. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So interesting question. I thought it was a fantastic question, actually. And my answer is really, really quite simple. It's, as most things in life, it's essentially a choice that you make. If you want to be a workaholic, you can be a workaholic. If you want to have balance in your life, you can have balance in your life. But the key is it's by choice, right? I mean, in my case is I try to do and keep in balance where, I'm active. I'm not on the computer all the time. I do my paintings when I like to. My wife and I go out and, have some fantastic times together. So I like to think I've got, over the years, I've learned how to get some balance in my life. And yeah, I would say it's true too, is that, yeah, don't sweat the small stuff for sure, because, life can be so much fun and so much excitement and just so much joy that, for me it is anyway. I'm living the dream. Thanks very much.
Sandy, you've got an incredible story. For those who don't know, we'll share this on another day because it's an incredible story you have. But there are days that some are better than others, correct? For you?
No, they're all great. They're all great.
That is the answer I was looking for, because that is a rare ability you have. Truly. I can't say that. I mean, I had some days that I wish I'd never woken up for, right? Wow. Thank you, Sandy.
No, I've never had, well, I probably have had those days. I can't say I've never had them, but let's say right now, and I also recognize that it's not going to last. Like at some point, something will, shake my utopia and leave me out, and I'll have to deal with something. But I'll get myself back. That's the key, because I choose to go back to being happy, content, and helping others. I really do enjoy that.
Within your coaching, do you talk about this with people?
Yes. I'll give you a quick example here. Is I'm dealing with a gentleman in Afghanistan. You know what's going on in that country, how tough it is. Young gentleman, 28 years old. And I share with him my wisdom that I've learned over the years. The other day I said to him, I'm shutting down my business, right? My coaching business. Well, he went into a state of fit. You couldn't believe it. He said, you cannot do that. You'll break my heart. Can I talk to your wife? I want to talk to her because she'll. Anyway, I agreed to change my schedule. And I said to him, I will meet with you guaranteed once a week on Wednesdays at a particular time. And yes, I will continue to coach you. Anyway, that's just a quick little story, but it's all true.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much indeed. Pat Dreyer.
Wow. How do I follow that, right? Sandy, you know what, Sandy, you're amazing. It's that understanding of going out and back into and realizing it and changing it, because you can change it that fast, get back to where you need to be. But it's that awareness that gets you there. You got it going. But so how do you balance life and business? Like most everybody here, I didn't. And throughout most of my life, I really let the job define me, and it controlled most everything. And we just worked around it. The family did. And I didn't know there was any other way until I met a friend of mine who's now my mentor and business partner. And he introduced me to residual income and personal development. And it's kind of opened my whole mind, my whole life up to a new way of living. And now I'm in control. So I like it a whole lot better, I'll tell you. And so does my family. They keep reminding me that when we went on vacation, that I always had work to do before we left the hotel room. So not a memory I want to keep.
So
Yeah, by the way, Pat, you do a fantastic job. You know, I would highly recommend anybody that if you deal with Pat, he's a first-class guy, and definitely, yeah, he's figured it out as well. And maybe falls into the trap every once in a while, but I know he knows how to dig himself out.
Thank you, Sandy.
yeah, thank you for sharing, Sandy. And thank you, Pat. It's all a matter of control, my man, right?
That is, we don't realize that we can make things happen for us and that the environment is not in control.
Easy to say, but sometimes not easy to do, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat. Penny Kennedy.
Hey guys, so there's a couple different things. Lately, my timer has been my best friend. Otherwise, again, I get sunk in and don't keep track of time and I work. So my timer has been amazing. And second advice second thing that sticks in my head is the advice of my parents long time ago. So I've overcome a couple serious illnesses, and my parents always told me, if you can afford to pay your taxes, you can afford to take vacation or time for yourself. And they also said, I've never seen a Brinks truck, Penny, at a funeral. What is your legacy? So I kind of live by that. And so if I find I'm working too much, A, I have granddaughters that'll tell me, and B, I kind of have to take a step back, a breather, and look at what's important in my life and what I want to leave. So those are my main keys that I live by for work-life balance.
Wow, Penny. When you say step back, what do you mean by that?
Literally step back, put my phone down, walk away from my computer, take a breather, look at what's important in my day, and reprioritize. And sometimes that's 2-3 times a day. Sometimes it's just my mental frustration that I have to take a step back from myself, from my work, take a breath, and go forward.
Yeah. And can you feel that problem coming on?
Oh, definitely.
Give me one symptom. Give me one symptom.
I will start to get frustrated with my own self. And or I find like, oh, it feels like I haven't been doing this too long, but then my timer goes off. Oh, it's been a half an hour.
Right.
So, okay, no, even though I want to finish that up, it can wait. There is nothing that is going to be that urgent that it can't wait.
Yeah.
And if it's a customer I'm dealing with, you communicate that with them. You just need a minute. And revamp your mental health, because it's very important. If you're not there, then you can't help anybody.
Thank you, Penny. Excellent advice. Excellent. Joy Healy.
Well, I'm very pleased that Sandy said you can choose to be a workaholic, because I'm afraid my life is 95% business. And as soon as I solve one problem, another comes up to take its place. But it's actually in the family genes, and I wouldn't fit in with the family if I wasn't like that. And when we're with the family, conversations always drift off to business. And, you know, they'd think I was ill. I wasn't doing that. I am trying to correct the balance, because the two online businesses that I'm involved with have a great support system involved. So I'm trying to use that to lighten my load. On the positive side, because I work freelance, I can choose when I work. So I am quite protective of the few social events that I do have. But I'm sorry, I'm a confirmed workaholic.
Can I ask you something? I mean, Marcus alluded to this. He mentioned that he had 3 burnouts. Okay. Have you ever had that problem?
No, no. Somebody,
Wow.
a previous boss said to me, Joy thrives under pressure. And no, I haven't.
Wow.
Guess I'm just pretty lucky.
Wow, you're a rare lady, Joy Healy. Okay, thank you very much. I mean, I'm wondering, at the Christmas table for dinner, Christmas dinner, do you talk business then?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what else do you talk about? Well, in our family.
Wow.
You know,
okay. So it's
yeah,
really
sorry.
life and business mixed together. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Okay, Fred Gillen.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. I just think that like the term work-life balance, I think gets taken out of context a lot. And it's like one, and like a lot of the people here in my age group, we've all worked in corporate, and that was all working 9 to 5, or actually it wasn't 9 to 5. It was probably 6 to 6 or 6 to 8, whatever it might be. So, and you put in after hours and you went home and you didn't see the kids, right? So that was the lifestyle. My life has changed recently, and now it's all about the family. So but my business is part of my life. So it's not so much a work-life balance, it's actually controlling it. Like, I give you an example, like last Monday was my birthday and I just turned the phone off. So I was out of contact for the whole day. Nobody could get me. End of story. Didn't matter who it was, what the issue was, bad luck. My family came first, and I just took the whole day off. And even, even today, like I had phone calls coming in, and I was talking to my wife and we were having a chat, and I just hit the mute button. I said, there's nothing that can't wait for an hour. Absolutely nothing that cannot wait for an hour. And actually, there's nothing that can't wait for 24 hours. If you actually think about it, if it's related to business. So it's, it's about putting your priorities right. And it's not so much about work-life balance. It's about just living life so you get the most out of it and make people, use your business to enhance your life, not as part of it, not as a separate entity. So that's me.
That's awesome, Fred. That is so awesome, because people say that to me lots. Why are you turning your phone off? How can you do that? It's awesome.
I think it's important. I mean, that's the first time I've done it in a long time. But I just, my son took us out, went to a winery for a meal, and when we left, I left my phone at home. So I wasn't even just turned off. I just couldn't get to it because we went for an hour and a half drive and then spent an afternoon at a winery and came back home and spent it with the grandkids. And even then, it didn't get turned on until they'd all left. So,
Fred, it was just your choice. You
absolutely
just made those choices, and that's
100%. And that's what people
and
need
as
to
an
do.
entrepreneur, we all have that opportunity. It's just, do we want to do it or do we not want to do it? And
so how would your life change?
She loves working.
How would your life change if you did that one day a week?
Oh my God. I've shut off the news and shut completely down. I've shut my phone off. I've just, isolated myself from the universe. And so every once in a while, that's sort of like just a little bit of mind clearing strategy that works for me. But I like to think that we all have these choices. It's just which one you want to make. And Joy likes working. And that's fine, because she's happy.
Computer.
Yeah, I do turn the phone off every so often and say, go away, I'll be back in, an hour, half an hour. So I do that. But
try it for 24 hours one day, Joy. Try it for 24 hours.
But also, Fred, you had a very good point. The business is a means to an end, right? Yep. Not an end in itself. I think that is the big, so get your priorities right. That was the message you were giving. And I think that's excellent advice. Thank you very much, mate. Great share. Jeff Veale.
Yeah, hi there, guys. Basically, I'm very fortunate. I'm in a business I love, so I don't see it as work. I see it as pleasure, and I can work if I want, when I want, where I want, how I want. I've got a laptop, and I can go to coffee shops and work. I travel all over Asia when the pre-COVID, and I've set some life balances up long ago. And one of my secrets is I used to always reward myself. Back in the day, we do it differently now, but back in the days, I used to go to a 5-star hotel every weekend with my partner. Every weekend, we'd go to a different one. That was our treat, because what was I working for? I was working to spoil myself. So we would go out, have a nice meal, have the satin sheets and the whole, high night, the jacuzzi, the whole 9 yards, in different hotels, and some were great, some were not so great. And then we moved over we got better value, because they were getting quite expensive, like $200 and $300 a pop. We moved over to like Airbnbs, and you can go into Superhost, and we found some fabulous Airbnbs around the $100 mark. And they were sensational. They're twice the size, and you're virtually going into someone else's home. Every convenience is there that you could possibly wish for. So that was one of the ways we did it. I was thinking, you guys, stress is an interesting one. I thrive on stress. More stress, the better. I had a guy ring me up one time who owed me a bit of money. And he said to me, he was a much younger guy. I was probably, I don't know, about 55 maybe. And he was in his 30s. And he said to me, remember, this is the guy that owes me money. He says, oh, don't stress, you'll have a heart attack. And I said to the guy, let me tell you something, my friend. I don't have heart attacks, I give them. If that money's not on my doorstep within 24 hours, you'll find out how I do that. I promise you, he gave the money to a friend of his who was a mutual friend, and the money was at my doorstep within 24 hours. Because, with my business guys, I'm happy to send you a copy. I made a set of rules, the Business Guru rules. We're available certain times, and pretty much we're available by appointment only, 8 till 8. Well, I can choose. I mean, I can stop at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and have a power nap for 2 or 3 hours, right? So it doesn't mean I'm going to work 12 or 14 hours for the day. In fact, I'll defy any of you to be effective, to put in a 10-hour day and be effective.
I agree.
Even my VAs, I hire my VAs out in 4-hour blocks. So you get 2 different VAs. So they're fresh, because they flag out otherwise. It's just human nature. So that's my take on it, guys. Basically, find a job you love. And the other thing, I've got a passion for football. So I've got 8 games of football from Thursday night till Sunday afternoon. I've got 8 games of football at 80 minutes a pop. And that's a very relaxing time. Apart from when the scores get a bit close, it gets a bit anxious. But apart from that, it's a lot of fun.
I watch the same games as Jeff, but for different reasons. He's got money on it, and I just do it for enjoyment. But yeah, it's a great way to cut off too. I agree, Jeffrey. And by the way, what you're really telling is you're setting boundaries and borders, right? You can't be contacted after 8 o'clock, whether they like it or not.
One last one, guys. I've got another policy in business. If I reach out to you and you don't answer within 24 hours, I wipe you. You are not in business. Right. I don't expect instant Jeff or instant John. You could be on the toilet, you could be having a shower, whatever you're doing, it's your business what you're doing. But if you can't answer a business call within 24 hours, as far as I'm concerned, you're not in business.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Okay. Patrick, what about you, my man? Life and business balance. Or do you think the same as the others?
Life and business. Well, shit. When it comes to my work, I enjoy working. I worked on tugboats for 43 years. We worked 12 to 36 hours at a whack. Kept on going, pushing cargo. But then after 43 years of working on tugs, I finally realized that took a toll on my family, because I would spend from 180 days or a little bit longer to 200 days out at sea in a year. And when I'm home, maybe for a week or a week and a half, I would go up to the elementary school at noon and pull my son out of kindergarten. Then we go to Toys R Us and go play. That's how he learned how to ride a bike, Toys R Us.
Wow.
And it took me a while, but then I kept the family, we kept it all together. They got in their own routine. But once I retired off the tugs, I I destroyed that routine they had going.
Mm.
You know, my wife told me, my ex-wife told me, we got to sell this place. I said, so, okay, that's cool. So we sold the place. And she walked up to me. She said, we got a problem. I said, what's that? I said, they backed out. She said, no, I can't live with you no more. I say, why? She said, you home too damn much. I said, well, go back to sea. I went, nope, I spent too long out there. So we kind of went our separate ways, split everything. And the business I'm in now, I love doing it. You know, I don't spend a lot of time on it like a lot of y'all probably spend on your business. I might spend 4 hours, you know, texting, sending letters out to my subscribers. Then if life gets too miserable, if I can't handle that, what I do, if the spirit gets low, if the work gets too much, overload my brain, I jump on my bike and go for a ride.
Mm.
I leave the thoughts at the house. I get out into nature. I enjoy what I love to do. Just jump on a bike and go, or go to the gym and work out.
Mm. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you very much. I need to do more exercise, by the way. You just gave me a rude shock. Yogesh, what about you, my man? How do you balance life and business?
The truth is, I don't. It all depends, I guess, on what business you're in. And like when I was younger, when I first joined my father's office, I would sit till 11 in the evening, faxing. Back then we had fax machines, right? Faxing all the factories in China, making sure the quotations were there on time to the buyers because it's very competitive, right? We used to sell a lot to Middle East and all. Obviously, after you get married, you can't stay up that late. So priorities change. But again, I believe it all depends on your business, what you're trying to achieve. Because if you're trying to achieve something really big, it's about priorities. A very good friend of mine, Carol Boston, she said last year, there is no such thing as balance, it's only priorities. So it really comes down to what you're trying to achieve. And if it's a family life, if you want to have more family life, then that's your priority. If it's, you know, you're heading for $1 billion, then that's your priority, and you got to do what you got to do. So that's my take on work-life balance.
Wow, Yogesh, that is, I mean, when you simplify it like that, it's even more powerful. So thank you. Thank you so much indeed for sharing. Just before we wrap up, anyone else want to have a last comment on this topic?
I like what Yogi said about you've got to do what you got to do. That's very right. You got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, in getting the priorities, I agree. Anyone else before we go? All right. Well, look, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for your contribution. I do appreciate what you shared, and I always appreciate what you share every damn week, because you share from your heart and you tell the truth. So I hope the people who are watching this can actually get a feel for who you are and reach out to you. Get a hold of those links under there, reach out to these people and talk to them about what's important to you, and let them share with you their expertise, their experience, their wisdom, their mistakes and their wins. And I'm sure you'll be on a winner. So without any further ado, thank you, everybody. I truly appreciate you all. Take care.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Good night.
Seeing everybody.
Thanks, Peter.